All right, let's talk about a huge new release in the AI art world called Flux.1. Now, this isn't just another image generator you type a prompt into and cross your fingers. No, this is different. Think of it like getting a whole professional artist workshop, a complete toolbox designed to give you way more control over your creations. So let's open it up and see what's inside.
You know that feeling, right? You have this perfect image in your head, you type out the perfect prompt, and the AI gives you something that's, well, it's close. But maybe the arm is in a weird position, or the background isn't quite right, and you just wish you could fix that one little thing without having to scrap the whole thing and start over. Well, that exact frustration is what the Flux.1 toolkit is designed to fix.
So, here's the plan for our tour. We'll kick things off with the simple, what is Flux.1? Then we'll get into the fun stuff, creating with words and then editing with AI. After that, we'll look at some really advanced controls, how you can actually get your hands on this stuff, and finally, why this is such a big deal.
Okay, first up, what exactly is Flux.1? The most important thing to get right away is that this isn't just one single program. It's not an app you download and click Go. It really is a whole toolkit. It's less like buying a single paintbrush and more like getting the keys to an entire art studio.
So, the official definition calls it a powerful, open-weight suite of models. Let's break that down. Open weight basically means that the models are out there for people to see, use, and build on top of. It's a huge deal for innovation. And suite of models, that's the key. It's not one thing. It's a collection of tools for generating, editing, and really getting that fine-grained control you've been wanting.
All right, let's start at the beginning. Every piece of AI art has to start somewhere, and that's usually turning your words into an image. This is, the foundation of the whole toolkit. And right from the get-go, Flux.1 gives you two different core models to choose from. Okay, so meet your two main options, Flux.1 Schnell and Flux.1 Dev. They look similar, but they're built for totally different things, especially when it comes to licensing. The first one, Schnell, which, fun fact, is German for fast, is, you guessed it, quick, and it's friendly for commercial use.
So, how do you choose? Well, it all comes down to what you're doing. Are you trying to build a product or maybe sell some art? Then you're going to want Flux.1. That's your workhorse. But if you're a researcher or just someone who loves to play with the latest, greatest, sometimes experimental stuff, then the Dev model is your sandbox.
Okay, awesome. You've picked your model, you've written your prompt, and you've got a great starting image. But now what? What if you want to tweak it? This is where the Flux.1 toolkit really starts to show off. We're moving beyond just creating from scratch and getting into the world of refining and remixing.
Let's talk about two super powerful editing ideas, in-painting and out-painting. Think of in-painting like a magic eraser, but instead of just leaving a blank spot, it intelligently fills in what should have been there, so you can just zap a distracting object out of your image. And out-painting? It's the opposite. It's like you can grab the edges of your picture and just pull them outwards, and the AI will generate the rest of the scene for you. It's incredible.
And the tool in the kit for this specific job is called Flux.1 Fill. As the name suggests, it's part of the Dev suite, so it's under a non-commercial license, perfect for experimenting with these amazing editing tricks.
Okay, but what if you're not trying to fix a tiny detail? What if you actually like the image you have, but you just want to, see some alternatives, like different takes on the same idea? That's where image variations come in. You're basically telling the AI, I love this vibe, give me more like it, and it will generate new versions that keep the same core essence.
So for that, you'll want to grab a tool called Flux.1 Redux. And here's something interesting. Redux isn't another giant standalone model. It's what's called an adapter. It's a small little add-on that you plug into one of the main models like Schnell or Dev to give it a new skill. It's kind of like snapping a special fisheye lens onto your main camera. It changes what it can do without replacing the whole thing.
All right, you ready to go to the next level? We've talked about creating, we've talked about editing. Now we're getting into the really high-precision stuff, the expert tools. This is for those times when you need the AI to follow your instructions, not just kind of sorta, but exactly. And the big idea here is something called structural conditioning. And trust me, this is wildly powerful. Imagine you've got a photo of a person. With this tool, you can basically tell the AI, hey, ignore everything about this photo except the pose the person is in. You extract that pose like a blueprint, and then you can say, now draw me a crystal golem in that exact same pose. It lets you totally reskin an image while keeping the composition perfectly intact.
And the way it works is actually pretty straightforward when you see it laid out. First, you start with your source image. Then the tool extracts a structural map, which could be a canny edge map, which is basically just a line drawing of the edges, or a depth map that shows what's close and what's far away. Then you write your new prompt, and Flux.1 uses that map as a strict guide to build the new image.
So for this kind of structural work, you've got a few options. You can use the canny method for edges or the depth method for that 3D feel. And for both of those, you can either use a full model or a much smaller and more efficient LoRa adapter. And that brings us to something we really need to talk about.
So what on earth is a LoRa? We've mentioned it a couple of times. Basically, it's a tiny, lightweight file that acts like a plugin for a big AI model. Instead of needing a whole new, massive, multi-gigabyte model for every single skill, you can just use these little LoRas. They're super efficient, and it's an absolute game changer because it means people can create and share new skills for these models really, really easily.
Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? We've got all these incredible tools. The obvious next question is, how do you actually get started with them? Well, the great news is that there are a bunch of different ways to jump in, no matter what your skill level is.
Seriously, this is something for everyone. If you just want to play around and see what it can do, there are interactive demos online. If you're a developer, you can pull it right into your project with the diffusers library. If you're a power user who wants total control, you can download the raw model weights. And for those who need top speed, there are even optimized versions for high-performance work.
And just look at this. For anyone who codes, it can be as simple as one line to get this whole pipeline up and running. That's what's so incredible here. This isn't just some super advanced tech locked away in a lab. It's being made accessible for people to actually build with.
Okay, let's pull back for a second and look at the big picture. Why does all of this matter? Why is getting a whole toolkit so much more important than just getting another slightly better image model?
So here are the key takeaways. First, it's a modular toolkit, not a one-size-fits-all app. Second, it gives you granular control over the entire process. Third, it's open and accessible, meaning the whole community can build on it. And finally, you've got efficient options, like those LoRa adapters. It's really a fundamental shift from giving people a single tool to giving them the whole workshop.
Look, this whole release really changes the game. We're moving away from just typing prompts into a black box and hoping for the best. Now creators have a full suite of specialized tools that work together. It puts a level of control into our hands that we just haven't had before. And that leaves us with a really exciting question. Now that the creators have the whole toolbox, what are they going to build next? I, for one, can't wait to see.